Instagram to push posts with potential hate speech lower in user feeds. Instagram will also show potentially upsetting posts lower in your feed based on your history of reporting content. It's a new story from PC Mag. I'm not sure how much this matters in the long run, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the story. But your feed may be changing. Instagram already removes user posts that have been verified to contain hate speech. Verified by who? I'm not sure. Who defines the hate speech? I'm not sure either. However, the social media platform is also going to start downranking posts that potentially contain hate speech by placing them lower in your Instagram feed. Here's a quote from Instagram. If our systems detect that a post may contain bullying, hate speech, or may incite violence, we'll show it lower on feeds and stories of that person's followers, Instagram says. The new approach will use computer algorithms capable of flagging posts suspected of containing the rule-breaking content. But because algorithms can sometimes get things wrong, the platform is merely going to downrank the content rather than delete it. I don't know if shadow banning anybody is better than, at least if you delete their stuff, then they know then they know there's an issue or they're potentially breaking the rules. To understand if it's breaking the rules, let the person know so that they can remove the post, edit the post, or just delete it. Don't shadow ban them. To understand if something may break our rules, we'll look at things like if a caption is similar to a caption that previously broke our rules. Instagram says, we're constantly improving our system to be as precise as possible, not only to help remove harmful content from Instagram, but also make our enforcement as accurate as we can. The other change is that Instagram will take into account the content you've previously reported. Quote, if our systems predict you're likely to report a post based on your history of reporting content, we will show the post lower in your feed, Instagram says. So what it sounds like is it won't necessarily shadow ban your post overall for something it deems through the automatic algorithm to be possibly problematic. It's not going to downrank it overall, only to certain users who are likely to, if you have a follower who's likely or has reported problematic material in the past, they would be less likely to see it. So if you're not somebody that does that kind of thing, I don't think it doesn't sound like it's going to affect your newsfeed. According to Instagram, the goal is to show users content they'll value, quote, while minimizing the likelihood that you come across content that could be upsetting or make you feel unsafe. Yes, I often feel unsafe sitting on the toilet looking at Instagram. That's a very terrifying. It can be a very terrifying place, I tell you. Especially when people say things that I don't like, it can be scary. However, the platform's attempts to curb hate speech could draw criticism. No, this is not likely. From free speech advocates who argue Instagram is trying to censor controversial points of view. I think it's trying to coddle weak-minded people. Yep. Instagram says the new policy only applies to user posts, not user accounts. This is what I said earlier. Not necessarily going to shadow ban your account, or even necessarily your problematic, in quotes here, posts from all users. Only your problematic posts from users who are complainers, I guess. The platform is also testing a chronological feed that nixes algorithm-driven content, which it plans to launch later this year. This is why I said I don't think this matters in the long run, because if they launch this chronological feed, people can just turn that on, and I don't think this would matter after that. Of course, they don't say whether or not it's mandatory to use chronological feeds. So if you don't, maybe this would still matter for you. But I'm in favor of chronological feeds. I think that's a good thing. So you're gonna have to. We're gonna go to another story here, but you're gonna have to tell me what you think of this. Regardless of if this is a short-lived initiative, is this a good thing, or is this just making the problem worse of people being in their bubble and not having to deal with things that they disagree with. You have to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think, if this is a good thing or a bad thing, and why. Next, digital cash gets a look from the Fed. What could go wrong? A digital dollar is on the Fed's mind. Is it on yours? A digital dollar backed by the U.S. government might lead to faster money transfers and be more accessible than the current banking system, according to a new paper from the Federal Reserve. The paper is meant to act as, quote, the first step in a discussion, end quote, and doesn't advocate for actually creating, quote, central bank digital currency. Sure. Still, the creation of a digital dollar would be a massive shift in how big a role the government would play in our finances. Potential downsides could include making commercial banks less attractive to consumers and affect the Fed's ability to influence the financial system. Well, of course, we don't want that. The Fed is now inviting comments, which they, I'm sure, will take um, under advisement very seriously and not throw directly in the recycle bin, including on anything the paper may have missed. The paper, A Step Toward the Existence of a Digital Dollar, comes at a time when around 90 other countries are considering their own digital currency. And I think Venezuela has adopted, they haven't created their own, but I believe they've adopted Bitcoin. The European Central Bank is investigating the creation of a digital euro. China has been testing a digital yuan, which it's been working on since 2014. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency world, stablecoins, some of which tie their value to the US dollar, have been rising in prominence. The government is also looking to keep supporting, quote, the dominant international role of the US dollar, end quote, as the paper puts it. Doing its research in public could help the government make it easier for other companies to design systems compatible with the US's. Oh, yeah, as Bloomberg points out, they want you to, if you saw yesterday, Bloomberg just wants you to buy a subscription. A digital currency from the central bank could combine some of the benefits of federally backed cash and privately controlled digital money, such as, okay, let's get to these benefits. Fast and easy transfers between people and businesses, even across borders. We already have that with crypto. So now I realize you have to transfer your US dollars to some sort of crypto first. More accessibility for people without bank accounts who may have difficulties opening accounts at private financial institutions. More safety and consumer confidence. Banks can fail or run into liquidity issues, which is less likely with the U.S. government. I don't know why people wouldn't trust the U.S. government to be in control of the money. They already are anyway, but this just seems like another step. Safety concerns. I can't imagine consumer confidence would be any greater in the U.S. government to handle their money than it would be a bank. I can't see that being possible. At least the banks want to do you right to some degree so they can make money so they can keep their customers. The federal government doesn't care. As long as the people at the top are getting rich and getting powerful, then who cares? There's also the potential downsides. The government would have to navigate the market's reaction to the U.S. taking over a role traditionally served by commercial banks. It would also require citizens to trust the government directly with all their financial info. Though the paper does vaguely say this concern could be mitigated by allowing intermediaries, that's their quote, to address privacy concerns, quote, by leveraging existing tools, which have worked so well. A digital currency doesn't have to be blockchain based. The Fed in its paper makes clear that no specific design or technology has been proposed yet. Well, I'm sure it'll be proprietary, so people can't look at it and see what exactly is going on. If it's blockchain based, they will have less control over it. Saying the Fed will continue to explore a wide range of design options. If the central bank were to create a digital currency, it would have to be privacy protected, intermediated, widely transferable, and identity verified, according to the paper. The Reserve is currently experimenting with and exploring centralized blockchain and distributed methods of making a currency. If you're interested in the future of money, the paper is well worth the read, and if you've got expertise or strong opinions about it, you'll have plenty of room to express them while going through the 22-point questionnaire. Yes, people will have concerns, and rightly so. Tell me what you think. Are you concerned about the government not only controlling the money, but knowing exactly every dollar you spend, everywhere it's going, what time, how much? Um, if that doesn't concern you, um, then maybe we aren't paying attention as much as we should be. They control. You could also make the argument though that they control so much already. This is just another step. It's not that big a deal. Maybe it would make your life easier in certain areas. Uh, if people have trouble getting bank accounts, you could make the argument it would make their life easier, or could, as they say. But you have to tell me. Let me know what you think. This is a scary next step. Don't think this is a good idea personally, but I want to hear from you. So thanks for watching. Excuse me. Thanks for watching today. Y'all have a good day, and we'll talk to you in the next video. And appreciate it. Like the video if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you next time. Thanks.